Anshuman, welcome back. Welcome back to Bhai Waugh. This is the post-match India-Pakistan recap or analysis, whatever you want to call it. The match just got over literally like 10 minutes ago and we just finished the presentation. So, yeah, first thoughts?
Yeah, good day to be here.
Regret not
Yeah.
going to the stadium?
There were some tickets on the offing, but they were super overpriced.
That's true.
So didn't quite cut it for me. There, like even though the stadium is like only 7-8 kilometers away from my place, so like I was in two minds. But then match had started, and I was already comfy on the couch, so
Correct.
just
No, but
just
I think if India reaches the finals, you might get tickets easily. Uh,
ah.
Doubtful that Pakistan will make it now to the quarter.
Pakistan only qualify in the scenario that Bangladesh beats New Zealand and Pakistan beats Bangladesh. So it's a
Yeah,
kind
I
of
mean, both
Mexican
both scenarios look very unlikely. I mean, the first scenario looks unlikely. Let's put it that way. Tomorrow's game will decide it. I think New Zealand plays Bangladesh tomorrow.
Bangladesh tomorrow. Yeah.
So I guess tomorrow, if New Zealand wins, then both the subcontinental neighbors and previous East Pakistan, West and Pakistan both go out of it. But yeah,
Yeah.
uh, I don't know. I didn't watch the game live. I'm in Bombay right now. I didn't get access to the game. I was following it up on Crick Info, ball by ball, pretty much. But I got this feeling somewhere from the game, from the commentary at least, that it looked very predictable. It looked fairly one-sided right from the start.
Pakistan never got around to making a fist of it.
Hmm.
Like I think they were under too much pressure. Their approach right from the start was very risk averse.
Hmm.
So, okay, Babar looked fluent in the beginning, but he only got 23 or 24 something. Rizwan was very, very much in his shell, made some 45 or something out of 77 balls
Right.
or so. So, it always seemed as though, they were waiting for a moment when they would start accelerating.
Right.
And that moment never came for them.
Correct. No, but it's odd because Pakistan's had this problem of late. They've not seemed to have the team that can put up a 350. And 350 is almost, you saw it yesterday with Australia and New Zealand, right? 350 looked about 20 runs short yesterday. I mean, not that Australia weren't in trouble, but Inglis and this guy has batted really well. But just that, I think somewhere today cricket has reached a stage where 325 is almost par for the course. You need to, at least if you're batting first, a 300, 325 is literally called for, right?
Shanti, in Dubai, I think that wicket is a 270, 280 wicket also. That would be a very good score.
But even by that logic, they were 30 shy.
Oh, they were 30 short there also.
I mean, you win the toss. You expect to put 275 at least on the bat.
Yeah, exactly. So I think pressure got the better of them. So everyone in their interviews says that dealing with pressure is key, and just get past that. But I think there was just too much external pressure on Pakistan and self-imposed pressure on the players also.
But tell me one thing. I mean, I agree. I mean, was it a little unfair on Pakistan? It's their tournament. Then suddenly you come to Dubai and you've not played on that wicket. India's played on that wicket. They've got a little bit of practice time. A key game, right? At the end of the day, it's a short tournament. It's a very quick in and out if you're out of it. I know the political situation. I know why this was done, but somewhere I feel a little hard done, I guess, Pakistan, with not being able to play this game in their backyard.
Yeah. See, hosts should have the home ground advantage, which was kind of taken away from Pakistan.
True.
But then, that was decided some time back. This should always be,
I'm not questioning the merits or the demerits. I just feel that it's a little unfortunate in a way because I don't know. At least they should have kept this game in Sharjah. I felt they would have had a little more support than Dubai. I feel.
Dubai Sharjah is not all that far from the point of view of an audience.
Right. Anyway, that's a minor point.
Yeah, okay. Sharjah, they would have the history backing them.
Yeah,
maybe
correct.
like
At least some kind of a hoodoo and some kind of a jinx or whatever you want to call it, whatever that advantage was. No, but somehow I don't know. This Pakistan team just didn't seem like they had a second gear to them. They were stuck in first gear.
yeah, you said it. And
Mm.
like, who are the guys who got runs? Kushdil towards the end
Still,
got some runs,
yeah,
but like he was also like there were answers that the Indian bowlers had to all of them.
yeah, correct.
Uh, and like coming back to this point of them being overtly risk averse, look at the first spell which Hardik Pandya bowled. I think he bowled 6 overs on the trot,
Correct.
and like he was just pitching it good length.
Mm.
The batsmen weren't even trying to get him off the square.
No, but that's the template. See, the thing with Pakistan is they don't have Fakhar Zaman for whatever reason, right? And today he didn't play. Generally a Rizwan, a Babar, and today they played Imam ul Haq. Again, he's an accumulator. He's not somebody who's flamboyant.
Yeah.
I was almost expecting them to play that template for the first 30 overs. Where they score 120 or maybe 150 if they're lucky. But what they're lacking, I think, is in the past, if they scored that 120 or 130 for 1 or 2 in 30 overs, they knew they had an Afridi coming down or a Abdul Razak coming down or they had the power down. Somewhere, they don't seem to have that anymore, right? They don't have that all-rounder who can hit a 20 ball 40 or a 30 ball 60 or whatever it is. And that's where the struggle is at the end of the day, right? Because if you look at all the other teams who are batting in this tournament, playing in this tournament rather, you've got Australia they bat down to 7. They may be a B team right now, but they're still down to 7. India's batting down to 7. England has got people coming down to 7, 8 who can bat. South Africa really sorted. So if you compare it to probably the 4 semi-finalists today, which is India, South Africa, possibly New Zealand, and maybe in Australia, right? At the way things are going at the moment, they all have the firepower, and Pakistan just didn't seem to have that sorted bit.
Yeah, I agreed there. And like you referenced the likes of Abdul Razak and all. See, like in my mind, the Pakistan team is the team from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. And everyone who's coming into bat is someone who to reckon with.
Correct.
That doesn't seem to be the case anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not. I see the standard. You remember, right? In the 80s, 90s, even maybe early 2000s, it was always what you scored to the 30, and then you double that in the next 20, right? So you had scored 120 in 30, 240 would have been your score at the end of 50 overs. Standard. But it's gone out of the window today, right? You're looking at a 300 being quite an ordinary score on most wickets today.
True.
And even teams like Ireland, Zimbabwe, Afghanistan can probably get those scores today, right? If they play well. So I just feel Pakistan is playing a template which is very, very old. And they're talented. There's no doubt. They've got a lot of talent. Babar is very talented. Rizwan's very talented. They just don't seem a team of which will scare you, right? There's no intimidation.
There are some things which seem to be strange. Like Fakhar Zaman had to go out because of injury. That was a loss to them. But since they knew they would be playing India in Dubai, maybe they should have brought in another spinner.
Yeah, true.
Because it's clear that the wickets are favoring spin bowlers.
There was talk of that young spinner, right? Who did well with against South Africa. I don't get his name immediately on my tongue right now. But they've had a couple of good spinners. They could have even tried maybe playing Noman Ali or
Sajid
Khan, for example, right? These pitches are very much like the subcontinent Pakistan wickets. It would have been an interesting pick, at least to see one of the two of them playing. But yeah, they're not a team that intimidates at the end of the day, right? There's no fear factor here.
Exactly. It's like we were talking in my head, Pakistan is still intimidating because it evokes memories of the past.
Right.
And the culture that one day Pakistan would be nothing, and the next day they'll completely do something miraculous.
Correct.
That is still something that stays, but that they've clearly not showed that in the past few years.
Yeah, I just felt it looked very one-sided. The moment that partnership, once the partnership was broken, it sort of looked inevitable that this was a 250 at the most, you know.
Yeah.
And they were quite lucky, actually, the tail wagged. Otherwise, they wouldn't have even reached 241.
True.
There were some points at the end which India leaked. But India bowled well. Let's not take it away from the bowlers.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, the Akshar, Jaddu, Kuldeep particularly was spectacular. Like,
Correct.
And the 3 wickets that he took.
Correct.
That's what kind of, made it worse for Pakistan.
Right. I think generally they began well. Though of course at the start when Shami bowled those wides, everyone thought of Zahir Khan in the 2003 World Cup. But
and like there is a certain lobby which is going around like kind of trolling Shami that he doesn't take wickets against Pakistan.
Yeah.
And that is like absolutely ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Yeah. Very.
That is pathetic. Like people really need to stop doing that.
I think this whole conspiracy theory nonsense is out of the window. I mean, none of these guys are playing to lose. We've been through a host of match fixing. I don't think anyone in their head or soul right now will ever get involved in anything like this, not at the top level. They're making enough money today, right, to bother with such things. So I think this whole nonsense about, okay, this one's not good against that one, or they're intentionally doing it, is all bullshit. It's all crap. You have a good day, you have your bad day. He just had probably an ordinary day today. That's it. Right? Leave it alone. But yeah, but if there were any positives from the Pakistan batting, if you felt they were, what were they like?
Shanti, they really did not get their act together.
Yeah, perfect.
Like, like Babar looked fluent in the beginning. Salman Agha looked good.
This is Babar's problem, right? And that's why I'm sure the Pakistani media will be trolling him again today.
Absolutely.
This is looks like $1 million but doesn't score 1 million runs. So
exactly. Well, like maybe he shouldn't be opening.
Yeah,
like,
correct.
Maybe 2 down.
Correct. Play a Kohli-like innings. Yeah, play a Kohli-like position. Yeah.
Exactly. Like Rizwan has opened earlier, so like maybe Rizwan should open. Anyway, like don't really know too much about Pakistan cricket other than what one needs. Like
any team that's gone through so many selectors and so many board presidents in the last 2 years.
I know.
I don't think even their players know, right? So forget about us.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, let's go to India. So the king is back.
For the king to be back, he needs to replicate this performance in the next match, the match after that, and the match after that.
Man, you're asking what's of him, man.
That's what the expectation of Virat Kohli always seems to be. Like I'm kind of making fun of the situation, like in the sense that okay, he got a 50 odd against England in one match. Correct. He didn't score all that well against Bangladesh, and like suddenly people are again going after him. Right. So King Kohli actually wears a crown of thorns.
Yeah, but today was a very controlled innings, very, very, very in the zone.
Yeah, exactly. Like he was completely in control. But for like one miss hit square cut to third man, which wasn't actually a catch because it dropped well short.
Right.
He was completely dictating terms.
Yeah.
And the other thing I genuinely liked about his innings was that it didn't seem as though he was going for his 100. It didn't seem to matter.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was a classic Kohli chase, right? If you call it. I mean, he scored 7 boundaries, which means he did 72 runs in singles and twos. I don't think they ran 3 in that innings, but to run 72 runs in singles and doubles shows one that he played that classical innings and the fitness again that man has, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, at 36 to put in those yards. And he mentioned it at the post-match conference, where he said that I'm glad that there's a week off, and I think for me at 36, at 23, 24, I don't know. But I think he looked very much today that it looked inevitable, and he looked like he was just grateful. There was no big demonstration, there was no big show of emotion.
Yeah.
So, which I think somewhere, he's sort of come to peace with himself that he's failed a lot more in the last year, and that little bit of that Kohli Kida, if you were to call it that, is not there anymore, right? For us to see.
Shanti, that's a big one.
I just felt he looked very statesman-like in his innings today.
Absolutely. And I think this is a curve which Kohli goes through.
Right.
And if you remember, during the T20 World Cup, he was reading some book on meditation or
Correct.
controlling your ego, and he
Right.
told Prime Minister Modi also
Yes. Yes.
something like that one should keep his ego in check.
Right.
But his ego seems to get the better of him always.
Mm.
So if he's overcome that,
Yeah,
fantastic.
I think he's still the boss of the ODI chase, man. There's no
Yeah.
way. I mean, 14,000 runs he completed that today, and
40,000 runs.
yeah, 51 centuries. I mean, you cannot take that record away from the man at the end.
Absolutely.
See, he's never been the test. He's never been the top 3 test batsman of all time, right? He'll never be. There's always been a Sangakkara. There's always been a Alistair Cook. There's always been a Steve Smith. He's been in the top 10 batsmen in tests. He's had a couple of good series, but I think one dayers that's his legacy, right?
Yeah, one day it's just completely his fault.
I mean, if he does play another 3-4 years, he's definitely going to break Tendulkar's record by the looks of it.
Yeah.
But even if he doesn't, he's just his sheer longevity, his sheer statistics, his number of wins and great innings and wins. He doesn't need to prove anything on the one day front at least.
True.
Right? 2 World Cups.
Yeah.
One World Cup and 1.5 World Cup now. Yeah, when take T20 World Cup. So yeah. Okay, great.
That counts. Okay. And Champions Trophy also, right?
Oh yeah, correct. Champions Trophy as well. Yeah. In fact, I read the stat very quickly in Cricinfo. This was his first century after 2008, apparently, in Champions Trophy. So it's a long 13-year gap or 17-year gap almost.
Really?
Yeah. I was just reading somewhere on Cricinfo very quickly after the match got over. So fair amount of. I think 2009 was his last. No, sorry, 2012. Sorry. My
Okay.
almost 13 years. And what about the rest of the Indian batting? I mean, they look good.
Shreyas is in the form of his life.
Absolutely.
Watch.
Absolutely.
He's also struck form.
Yeah.
Rather, he's been in the form of his life for the past 2 years, 3 years now.
Correct.
Very pleasing to the eye. He was completely in control, completely dominating.
I think that's again. His statistics are as good as Tendulkar's at the start of a career. Again, today Cricinfo reported about matches that people have played before the age of 25.
Yeah.
And he's far ahead of Tendulkar at that age, right? I mean, his average is about 65 today,
Yeah.
which is amazing. I mean, for a one-day batsman. Shreyas looks good. Shreyas looks like he's got over his short ball issues. He was hooking fairly decently. And he's got a lot of flair. I mean, he's got a lot of flair. But there was this very interesting comment, I think, that Sanjay Mazrekar made, saying that, Gill might be a great, but Shreyas might not be because he's not got that same amount of discipline as a Gill. But I don't know. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's your career. You bat and you might be flamboyant. You may not make the runs. You might either way, right? It doesn't matter. He's effective when he plays. He's very effective, no doubt about it. Any chinks in the Indian armour at the moment?
Doesn't look like it. And the wickets are now a known quantity to us.
Correct.
It looks like we did the right thing by bringing in 5 spinners. So
Absolutely.
Harshit Rana was exceptionally good today.
I remember when we had the chat before and we did the preview. I wasn't very gung-ho about Harshit Rana, but he's proved me.
Yeah.
Correct. Looks like the deal there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're batting deep. We're batting to number 8.
Yeah.
That's when I think
Jadeja
Jaddu would come in.
Yeah, Jadeja walks in.
So
Correct.
So
it's looking good. It's looking good. But then, of course, I mean, we are obviously going to face either an Australia or a South Africa the way it's going right now. South Africa's in the form of their lives. They're really looking good. Australia, I did not expect them to win yesterday, honestly.
Yeah.
After the start that they had, I thought that's it. That's the game's over. But I mean, Australia's Australia at any kind of trophy for that matter. But I think the only chink India has is, if they have it, is where do they play Chakravarti? They might have to play Chakravarti somewhere, I feel.
Yeah, I think if we come across a lineup which is left-handers heavy, maybe Chakravarti would
Possibly.
come in.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they'll actually, I think it will be a toss-up between Kuldeep and Chakravarti.
The
Because we
only
would
person
not.
who make way, only person who makes way from this team obviously is going to be Kuldeep at this rate.
Yeah.
Unless they
Unless,
take, they like,
unless there's an injury.
sorry,
Unless there's an injury.
unless there's an injury, of course, yeah. So good overall game. Somehow just felt very predictable and very expected. Didn't have that same India Pakistan kind of intensity, right? Which we
Yeah, the hype was more than what happened in the match.
even the hype I felt wasn't so much as this time versus like say the previous games. Somehow there's this thing almost like it looks post the Champions Trophy where India lost to Pakistan. For the last few years, it's been like okay, we can get this done.
We've got the medal for the past 4-5 years.
Pakistan honestly is not as intimidating as they were. I mean, I think their bowling has fallen down big time. Haris Rauf, Shaheen Shah Afridi, they're not as good as they were. Naseem Shah, for example, a very bright start to his career, and he looks like he's withered off. Rauf seems to be good only at the BBL. He plays really well at the Big Bash, but somehow tends to lose a lot of his team when he comes to play in, especially against India.
Especially against Kohli.
Sorry?
Especially against Kohli.
Especially against Kohli. I think Kohli's got the Mickey of him quite well there. Any almost halfway down there. Any predictions still in your kitty?
It'll be an interesting match against New Zealand because, New Zealand, South Africa, Australia, they're all cerebral teams.
Yeah.
So they would be watching what's happening here, and they'll come with a plan. New Zealand is also very well sorted in the spin department.
Yeah, they're good. They're pretty good. Yeah.
And Glenn Phillips.
Correct.
And who's the third spinner?
They have Michael Bracewell.
Michael Bracewell. Bat exceptionally well, exceptionally deep. So, as far as template goes, I think they're kind of like India.
Yeah. Fairly sorted in terms of every role.
Yeah.
But I'm just feeling sad for England. I mean, they've got a very good team, but again, they look like they're not going to do well in another ICC tournament.
England have done one thing wrong. Okay, they've got all these express fast bowlers. They should have added more in the spin department.
They don't have the spinners. They just don't have the spinners. Apart from Adil Rashid, there's really nobody in that team.
Adil Rashid, Shoaib, the tall guy.
Shoaib Bukir is there, but they don't have, I think, the kind of spin attack that they used to have in the previous ICC tournaments, right? I mean, not that they did very well with that attack, but they just don't have the variety, right?
Yeah.
You need a lot of more variety in your spin, which today, I mean, India has good spinners, right? They've got Akshar, they've got Jadeja, they've got Kuldeep, Varun. I mean, they're classical spinners. But you take New Zealand, who you just mentioned, right? Even Glenn Phillips is not a bad bowler.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maxwell is not a bad bowler. So it's like even the part-timers are decent bowlers. England doesn't need to have even that part-timer who can give them that difference. Livingstone tries, but he's not.
No, but you can get 4-5 overs out of him. He's not a
correct
10 overs kind of.
Right. So what is the moment of the match for you today, apart from obviously Kohli getting that century?
Moment of the match. Kuldeep spell.
Good. Yeah.
That completely choked Pakistan.
Correct. He bowled really well. I was reading it. Again, I've not watched it live today, but I was just reading the commentary and I could make out that there was a lot of control and guile in whatever he was doing.
Yeah. In fact, there's one thing which I found very strange about the Pakistan batting, which is no one's deploying the slog sweep.
Yeah, exactly.
Given the fact that all our bowlers are pitching it in that area, that length,
correct.
That should be a shot, but didn't see it at all.
No, I think somewhere where if you think of the games where people have played against spin, right, with a plan, like when Gooch played that sweep against India in the 87 World Cup, right? He conscientiously went saying that I'm going to sweep Maninder Singh out of his length. Or if even if you look at Imran Khan, when he put himself up the order and said, "I'm going to take on spin, right? I'm going to use my feet. I'm going to be aggressive." You need to have that plan against spin at the end of the day. I just feel that Pakistan's so conservative today that they would rather just keep wickets and
I
just
know.
go.
Yeah.
There's no intent, at the end of the day.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think they're worried. They're worried if they show intent and they get out, it's egg on their face. But it's going to be
Yeah.
egg on their face anyway, right? There's no
Yeah.
the risk is out of their game.
True. True.
And I just feel that they're a fractured team internally. There's a lot going on behind the scenes which we probably don't know. Andrew Fernando might have a better idea what's happening. He seems to have going on behind the scenes which we probably don't know. Andrew Fernando might have a better idea what's happening. He seems to have a good year on the Pakistan team mostly. But yeah, I think the tournament set up the way it was supposed to be set up.
Right.
I think the only upset possibly would be England not making it to the top four. But the rest is looking in order right now.
How can England not making it be an upset?
It is. They are a team that should have been in the top four. Let's put it that way.
Mama, we're Indians, yeah. So England loses, we win.
ठीक है कैप्टन रसल की टीम थोड़ी है कैप्टन रसल की टीम नहीं है जो भी है टगलिस जार्डिन की टीम थोड़ी है yeah, but it is by the way and I'm going to give a plug in to another show. You should watch what Cyrus Butcher is doing on YouTube.
Yeah, I know, it's very interesting.
Very interesting shows today. I saw one with Clayton Mazzello today, and it was based on CK Naidu and the first few years of Indian cricket. Very interesting stats, and I'll see if I can. I'll ask him and see if he can come on the show. Some very interesting stuff. So yeah, good. So yeah, sorry.
In the same vein, like there's a very interesting show, which is like the post-match analysis on 10 Sports. I think you'll find it on YouTube also. So the panel is Wasim Akram, Bakar Yunus, Nikhil Chopra, and Ajay Jadeja. Very
Ajay, not Jadeja. It is.
It was Chiteshwar Pujara, but Pujara's gone back and Ajay has replaced him.
Who's the other spinner? There was another spinner we used to have. I saw him.
Nikhil Chopra.
Nikhil Chopra. Yes, Nikhil Chopra. Yes. In fact, I think that it's they used to do this on ARY. It's that Fazle Haq or whatever who does the Fazle Haq.
Yeah.
Right. We used to have it on ARI and now it's moved to 10 Sports. Correct.
Right. Yeah.
But they're very good. Huh? I mean, I used to watch the analysis on the 2023 World Cup.
Yeah.
Very fair, very balanced. Fox News like.
And Wasim is like absolutely unfiltered.
He's brilliant. I think he's read the game far better than a lot of people, right? And he doesn't worry about anything. He says it
exactly.
And it's good because that's what you need eventually from a cricket show.
Yeah. Exactly.
So great. So tomorrow, hopefully, we'll know the Chitta, Lokha, whatever of this group. At least we should know.
I know. Yeah.
Likely money on New Zealand and India qualifying tomorrow itself. And let's see how it goes. When's our next game, by the way, with New Zealand?
I think it's on the 2nd or the 3rd of March. So like some
break. Yeah. Kohli mentioned it. Correct. Yeah, Kohli mentioned it, right?
Almost a week.
Almost a week's break now. Correct.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. So hopefully we'll bounce into. Oh, by the way, there was a big rush today at Raju Omelette in Dubai.
Why is that?
Raju
Someone showed up.
Because Rohit Sharma and I think Kuldeep Yadav or somebody were having lunch there today.
Oh, okay.
Just before the game, for some reason. So maybe we'll see a lot of them in Dubai. They want a week off. So
yeah, no.
Let's see if we can get some interviews done with them, man. No. Let's see. Abhishek can help us.
Inshallah.
All right. Thank you. What a lovely day today. India wins. Predictable though.
Yep.
But let's hope for some more exciting cricket in the time to go. And cheers. Catch you soon.
You do, Rob. Take care.
Cheers.
Cheers.